Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast, book friends, book pals, book people, people of the book bays, book bros. Welcome back to the Bookcast, my podcast where I talk about reading and writing Black love and real life as a self-published author of Black fiction. This is episode 139. I am D.L. White. I'm an Atlanta-based author, reader, storyteller, podcaster. I like to yap. If you like this podcast or the idea of this podcast, the very best way to show your support is to buy the books. You can find mine at booksbydlwhite.com/shop. There you'll find my books in ebook or audio. You can also find print copies of my books at mybookshop.org shelf. So you're supporting indie bookstores and me at the same time, and that is my very favorite thing. Today is Sunday, June 7th, 2026. It's a cloudy day here in Atlanta. I am back with a lot to catch up on. May and June were busy in the best way. Well, May was busy and June is shaping up to be a lot. So I have some things to talk about and some thoughts. So let's get into it. All right. Welcome back to the podcast. After our nice beverage break, I hope you had a nice sip. I'm having some, it's like a iced coffee, but with protein in it. So I just blend it up in a little blender. It's delicious. We do what we have to do on a Sunday afternoon. My body knows that it's Sunday and it wants to sleep all day, and I'm not doing it. Okay, let's get going. Let's start with the book report, as always, because if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to read a book. I read 8 books. No, I am 8 books ahead of my Goodreads schedule. I am at 72 of 150 books read, a 48% toward my goal of reading 150 books in 2026. I am 8 books ahead. Yes. Let's talk about what I read in May, because I did skip the last week in May. I was going to try to get in one last episode before Black Romance Book Fest, but I just had too much going on. I could not get in here. So in May, I read 11 books, I believe. So Miss Lorraine's Late in Life by Takara Martin was a great read. Loved it. I love a woman of a certain age finding love late in life. These Heathens by Mila Mackenzie. I listened to that in audio. I heard that it was in Conversation with Kin by Tayari Jones, so I ran and got that and put that into my ears. Truly enjoyed that. It was a great book. My biography, 12 Lives Biography Challenge read for May was L.A. Coroner Thomas Noguchi and The Death in Hollywood by Ann Soon Choi. Listened to that in audio. It was interesting, really good in the interesting parts, and then it kind of dragged in the not so interesting parts. So got that done. Mist and Malice, which is book number 2 in Rachel Housel Hall's Haven series. If it's Rachel Housel Hall, I'm gonna read it, unless it's a fantasy. I don't read fantasy, and she's kind of dipping into the fantasy genre some. But if it's a mystery, thriller, etc., I'm putting it into my face. Listen to that in audio. The Mediator, Max Ringo, book number 1 by Robert Bailey. This is a new series that he started. I love me a Robert Bailey book, of course. I like his detective series. The name of it totally flies out of my mind. I'll try to put it in the show notes, but he does a really good standalone and a really good series as well. So if it's a Robert Bailey book, I'm in. You know what? I'm thinking of a totally different author. I am thinking of Robert Dugoni. Robert Bailey, I think I have read every book he has written, and he has had several series. So here's a new series by Robert Bailey, and I'm all the way in. I read Should We by Jessica Terry. She is an indie author. Really enjoyed that one. Last First Kiss by Julian Winters in audio. I got that as a advanced listener copy from NetGalley. It was pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Fallen for the Fame by Kimberly R. Vargas. She is an indie author. I listened to this on Kobo Plus. Truly, truly, truly enjoyed. She is also an author that voices her own audio. And I need y'all to go on over there and listen to Kimberly Vargas because she does a far better job than I do at voicing audio. Simply superb. And she can sing. Come on now. And then Concrete and Cadence, Welcome to Stonebridge, Book 1 by C.M. Barnes. I listened to this on audio with my Audible subscription, which I do still have because I am an Amazon Audible person. I also have Libro, I have Everand, I have Spotify, I have Kobo Plus. I have all the things. Y'all not going to keep me from these books. That's what I have to say about that. Concrete and Cadence was really, really good. Really enjoyed this one. It was steamy. It had such a good plot line. Really enjoyed it. I love C.M. Barnes' work. I have to be honest with myself about what I like and what I read simply because it's the author. Like a few years ago, I just had to come to terms with the fact that I don't like fake dating. I don't like fake marriage, anything. There are certain books that I will read because it's the author. But as a trope, I am just not reading it anymore. I don't like erotica. I just don't. It doesn't do anything for me. I need more story than the bump and grind. I don't like erotica. I don't like kink. I'm just a girl. I'm a contemporary romance girl. Now, there are some people that will write stuff and I will read it because I just love the beauty of their writing. I don't necessarily enjoy certain parts of it, but, I enjoy the whole better than the parts, if that makes any sense at all. So, I do love me some C.M. Barnes. I do read her erotica, some of her erotica releases. But I'm gonna eat up her contemporary romances. Love them down. So I think there's more in this series coming, and I'm excited to see what is coming up. Sunset Over Napa Valley by Monica Garner. This was a NetGalley. I didn't get it. Did I get this in audio? I did not. I didn't get this in audio. It's not out in audio. It is not part of a series, but it is, I think, her second book that's sort of in this vein. It's more of a women's fiction novel. It was okay. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. And then I read Score by Kennedy Ryan. If Kennedy Ryan is writing it and it's a Black romance, I'm probably going to put it in my face. Listen to this in audio. Wesley Chaban did a bang up job with this. I really enjoyed this one. It had a bipolar character in it. And I love reading a book that's not about the same old thing, and Kennedy always brings us something new, telling a story you probably heard 100 times in a totally new and different way. I really enjoyed Score, and then I got the chance to see Kennedy multiple times last week and over the weekend. So we'll talk about Black Romance Book Fest a little bit later in the podcast, but spent a lot of quality time with Kennedy Ryan last week. And then What I'm Not, Porter Brothers novel, Book 3 by D.H. Renfro. This is the last book in the Porter Brothers series. I'm a little sad because I do like a Brothers series, but they can't go on forever now, can they? This was a really great novel. Again, a character with going through something that you just probably haven't heard a lot of. I do not know how to pronounce this condition. I think it's hydrantitis something. I don't know, but it's kind of a painful. Now I can't. But the words will not come to my face. It's a painful condition in which they experience boils and rashes all over their body, sometimes in very intimate areas. And the main character in this book suffers from that. And so she's a little bit self-conscious about her scars and what her body does when she's stressed or having a flare or things like that. And the hero in this book not even really sort of. He just sort of puts himself in a position where she feels safe with him. And I heard somebody say on the internet the other day, it was like a reel that sort of went past me. If you have never seen the soft version of me, I have never met the safe version of you. I don't know that I have a soft version, but truly, if I've never been vulnerable with you and I've never talked to you about things that really hurt me or things I'm sensitive about or things that I am self-conscious about, I don't know you like that. And that's something you should really think about. You know what I'm saying? So I read that 4-star read, Stay With Me Forever, Bayou Dreams by Farah Rashan. I got this in audio. I think I got in ALC from NetGalley. Always, if it's a Farah Rashan, I'm reading it. And especially this Bayou Dreams series, which I really loved when I first started reading Black romance. Farah was one of the first authors that I read, and her books were just gorgeous. The Bayou Dreams series is gorgeous. I did ask her if there's any chance we might see the Maplesville series or the Holmes Brothers series come out in audio or be revamped by Honey Blossom Press or any other publisher. And she said, maybe. So I don't know. I'm taking that as a really good sign. So those were the books I got through in May, and then in June so far I have read 2 books by Jeffrey Deaver in the Culture Shaw series. One is like a series starter, Captivated. I got that in audio. I think I got it on Everand, maybe. I don't know. And then I read The Never Game, which is Culture Shaw #1, both by Jeffrey Deaver. So this is the source material for the CBS show Tracker. And Tracker is one of my favorite shows. They're going into, I think, season 4. And if they would just stop messing with the cast, that would be awesome. The cast in season 1 is much different than the cast in season 3. I think they finally hit their stride, and are finally making, good enough ratings for the show to gain some traction. So while we're waiting for a new season, which we honestly probably won't see until October, the way new seasons start these days, I'm trying to read the source material. So this is like an 8-book series by Jeffrey Deaver. And so kind of digging into it, my friend that only reads mysteries and thrillers and the occasional romance from D.L. White or Kennedy Ryan said the Coulter Shaw series was good. So I'm trying to get into it. The Never Game was a little slow, but I can see where some of the stories in these books are reproduced in the show. I'm moving on to book 2. We're making it. And then I read Pre-Ordered Satisfaction by my book bro, Jason Graham, who I think listens to the podcast. If you are listening, what up, book bro? Say hey to the wifey, the wifeager, the wife manager. Saw him at Black Romance Book Fest last week. It was so good to see him in person. Give him a big old hug. I haven't seen him since my birthday in 2022 when I went to DC. It was 2022, 2023. One of those years, I went to DC, saw him on my birthday, actually. Spent my birthday in the DC area. Had a really good time. Haven't seen him since, so it was nice to see him and buy some books. This was a new release that he wrote. It is actually very BRBF coded. It is a romance that's set at a Black Romance Book Festival. It was heckin' good. Steamy. Very, very steamy, very steamy. I believe that it is out on Amazon now. I think it's in Kindle Unlimited. You should run right over and snatch it up and put it into your face. It won't take very long to read. And you should also review it everywhere you can leave a review. And if you don't, I will come to your house and leave all your cabinets and drawers open. So, it's up to you. Seal your fate. I also read Murder in the Isles, a Felicia Swift mystery by Donna Hill. I have not read much Donna Hill, like Confessions in B Flat. I feel like I've read it, but I don't remember. I know the cover. Anyway, this is a mystery series. There's a little bit of steam in it, which I was not expecting. I don't know why. Like a 2% in. It was good. I thought it was good. Apparently, this is a reprint. I think she got her rights back to it, and she's republishing it as an indie series, and I am all for it. I don't know how many books are in this series. because I have not done any research on it at all. I saw it popped up. I bought it and I decided I was going to read it. And that is that story. That is me. That is me as a person. So just totally going in, eyes wide shut, totally blind, going to read this book. So I am going to find out if there are more Felicia Swift mystery books and dig into them. And then I read Love is a Contact Sport by Frederick Smith. This book comes out, I think, the 16th. So I got an advance copy. I really, really enjoyed this. Really, really enjoyed this. And I know Fred listens to the podcast. And I'm not just saying this because Fred listens to the podcast, but because Fred listens to the podcast, I'm saying, hi, how are you? He is also one of my book bros. I also saw him last week at Black Romance Book Fest. I bought One and Done last year, which I had read an ebook copy of, and I really enjoyed that. That one's a male romance set in upper academia, college love, academic professionals and whatnot. And I think Love is a Contact Sport is also, anyway, I'm not going to rehash the book or spoil any of it, but it is a great novel. I really enjoyed it. So you should also go find this one, put it into your face, and as soon as you read it, write a review. Really enjoyed Love is a Contact Sport. And then I read The Fire We Make, which is Luna Lake Book 3 by Shamika Irby. My girl Shamika, saw her last week at Black Romance Book Fest. It's always, always good to see Shamika. Between her and Chensia Higgins, they know it's me because it's just a person yelling from down the hall, Chensia! Shamika! For like way too long, and embarrassingly loud. It is just me. I loved this book. Okay. Aside from Potter Lake, Luna Lake is a spot I just want to buy a house and settle in. I think the first two books in this series are holiday romances, and I'd skip them because it's June. I cannot read a holiday romance in June. I can't do it. I jumped right into book 3 because it didn't seem holiday. This book is actually 3 whole stories. It's like a full book and then 2 shorter novels. So it's more like an omnibus. Anyway, it's 3 full stories. And I don't want to say they're fluffy because people are dealing with real issues in these books, but the romances in these books are so like soft. I like to say a soft place to land about my books, and Luna Lake is also a soft place to land. These are small town romances. They feature fat female protagonists and the men that love the hell out of them. Like, let me tell you, girl. Yeah, the Luna Lake books are excellent. Definitely going to be reading more Shamika. I know she champions the Black Diamond and Potter Lake series hard, and so I knew I had to get into some Luna Lake and some Shamika Irby. So really got into that. And then I am also for the 12 Lives Challenge. This month, I am reading The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace by Jeff Hobbs. I'm listening to that in audio. I think I'm like 30% in, and he is like in high school at this point. It's a little slow, but I'm sticking with it. So I'm not really streaming much because it's summer. There's nothing really regularly on. I'm just kind of dipping through YouTube, and whatever is on, I'm watching it. Nothing. I did like Darrow and Darrow, but there's only like maybe 2 or 3 episodes that are available. So a thing that Hallmark does is they start a great little series of mystery movies and then they end it, which is very frustrating. So anyway, I am waiting on a couple of series to pop up, like The Diplomat season 4, Night Agent, Night Action, whatever is the name of that show. Landman, I think, is not coming back until January. So, I like to call them my reason to live, my reason to keep living. So watching those, but this summer I am hoping that my face is going to be in the books. moving on to our writing and publishing update. Still I Rise, which is Potter Lake 4, kind of stalled. I'm not really feeling it. I don't know if I need to go back and like revamp this book, or it's just not ready to be written, or if it's not coming, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not writing it. And it's kind of where that is. I do have ideas for the next Young Investigations book, which potentially could come this fall. I don't know, maybe. And then I have an untitled project that I think I'm going to actually try to sell to Trad Pub. Fingers crossed. I've got a very light outline in progress. Still landing on character names, to be honest with you. So, we'll see. But I do have ideas pending. Like right when I think I'm like, you know what, I think I'm done for a little bit. I'm gonna just take a break and like read and just be a reader. And then my brain is like, hey, what if you wrote a story about this thing and these people in this situation set here? What if you did that? So, and then my good girlfriend, Karen the reader, tried to give me an idea about the next medical romance. We were at my table, at my signing table, and she's like, what would be a really good story? And I was like, you know what? I don't need any ideas. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if anything comes of that. So Standard of Care is still the newbie. As far as I'm concerned, it came out in late May. Retail and print launched, sold the print at Black Romance Book Fest. I think it sold okay. I did bring some home, but I printed more of that than any other book. I will have some at Wine with Writers coming up at the end of July. Launch momentum has really slowed, and I'm not really pushing it as hard, but I am running some promos to keep the catalog moving, and, I'm posting on Threads here and there, mostly my other books, but, a rising tide lifts all boats, or whatever that is. That saying, you know what I'm saying? So I have a BookBub new release promo coming up on June 16th for a Standard of Care. It was expensive. So fingers crossed, everyone, I at least make back what I spent on it, because Lord. And then I ran a Free Booksy and a Fussy Librarian promo on Curl and Dye, which netted me like 300 and some copies. So that was not bad. Actually, last month in May, I did an indie audiobook deal on Calculated Risk, which is one of the audiobooks that I narrated. I gave that away for like one day, and it moved like 700 and some copies. So not too shabby. And I saw Talia Cadet at Black Romance Book Fest in a coffee line, and she's like, I listened to Calculated Risk and you did really, really well on that. And so I value her opinion as a person that doesn't know me and isn't obligated to tell me she liked anything. And so that was nice to hear. And also Bridget Bianca BB, Professor BB, also had noted that I do voice some of my own audiobooks, and she also said I did a good job. So yay. So yes, Curl and Dye, 300 and some copies of that in ebook. It's a perma-free, so it's always free, but it is always nice to remind people that it is free and bring that book out to the masses, and let's get some more attention on it, because it is book 1 in a 4-book series. So I just want to see if anybody pick up the others in that series, and a few have, so that is great to see. I decided, since I put Beach Thing free for I have some promo I signed up for, and it has to be free, and I don't remember. I really need to start putting these things on my calendar, because I get these emails from Draft to Digital that's like, hey, would you like to participate in such and such promo? Your book needs to be free, or this. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll set it free, because it's very easy to use the promo tool in there to set a book free for a certain amount of time. Amazon, why can't I do that? Like, why does it take an act of Congress to get a book free on Amazon? I mean, I can do it. It's just hard. Anyway, so I set Beach Thing free for June for some reason I can't remember. And I said, well, let's just run a sale on the whole series. And so books 2 and 3 are 50% off. So I decided, let's make it a Black Diamond Summer, It's summertime. It is, Will Smith o'clock. And so through July 4th, Beach Thing is free. That is book 1 in the Black Diamond Romance series. Hip hop mogul Wade Marshall flees Brooklyn for Black Diamond Bay, looking to reignite his creative fire. He finds Amina Porter instead, owner of Tiki's and Cream, her smoothie oasis, an island dream. Their mutual longing ignites a romance neither bargained for. When summer ends, Wade is heading back to Brooklyn, but what happens on Black Diamond doesn't have to stay there. That book is currently free in ebook. You can also get that book in print or audio wherever you find books. And then I set book 2, which is Elysium, at 50% off. What started as a flirty Instagram DM becomes months of scorching virtual intimacy that leaves Athena Wilcox craving more than her screen can deliver. The travel nurse has been playing it safe her whole life, but Vance Griffin, expert travel coordinator, makes her want to be reckless. He knows exactly how to spoil a woman, and he's determined to fly her to paradise to prove their online fire burns even hotter in person. Now, I've talked about this book in the past and how this book scared the pants off of me because it opens with sex. That is not a thing that D.L. White generally does. I'm a slow burn author. I like to ease you into the situation, like status quo for him and status quo for her, so that you see how meeting this person that is destined to be in your life makes an immediate impact. I never open a book with sex, and we are cold, open cyber sex with this book. So if that's your thing, I beseech you, I implore you, go pick up Elysium. It's 50% off at my store, booksbydlwhite.com/Elysium. Go and get it immediately. It's very good. It's very steamy. Very, 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 very steamy. And then book 3 in that series, which, I really like Beach Thing. Actually, really, really like Beach Thing. But if I had, to play favorites, I really like The Pearl. It's a workplace romance. It's set at Black Diamond's premier luxury resort and residence, The Pearl. And it features Davis Scott, who runs the Pearl Resort with an iron fist. But his luxury hotel is hemorrhaging money. He needs help. Fast. Enter Kari Savoy, expert marketing strategist. And Kari needs this job. She's been raising her teenage siblings while building her career, and she can't afford to fail. High-stakes business meetings, romantic motorcycle rides, and stolen moments that threaten to expose the entire staff is what this book is about. Well, it threatens to expose their romance to the entire staff because he's her boss and she's his employee, and they can't date, right? That is the Black Diamond romance series. I call them my beachy black romance series. Kind of near and dear to my heart. I push them really, really hard in the spring and the summer. So around September, I stopped talking about Black Diamond because after Labor Day, don't nobody be at the beach, in theory. So that series is on sale right now, primarily through June 4th. July 4th, we'll see how it goes. Might extend it, might just go ahead and be like, you know what, that's good. That's really good. That's good. We'll see what else we put on sale this summer, but that's what's going on. So speaking of sales, I was looking at my little Scribe Count account. That's the program that I use to track all of my sales, which I now can track my in-person book sales now through Square, and that is an amazing, amazing thing. I love it to death. So I moved 1,042 units in May. Now that also includes pre-orders for Wine with Writers. That's also included in that, but there's a method to my madness. Go with me. I saw a royalties number that had a comma in it for May. No, this is after Blank Romance Book Fest. It includes Wine with Writers pre-orders and everything I sold at my table during that last weekend. That was amazing. Book Funnel, of course, dominated everything I sold. Everything I sell outside of Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Nook, Apple, Google Play kind of comes in through Book Funnel, even if it's in person, because that's kind of how the data comes through. They just call it all Book Funnel. Most of that is stuff that I sold basically outside of retail. I moved 89 units on Amazon and 10 units elsewhere. That was pre-orders, basically. 263 units through Findaway. That was all the calculated. That was a lot of calculated risk downloads that came in through like Chirp and whatever. But like 500 of the 700 and some copies of calculated risk that I gave away were direct. They took them direct from my site, which was amazing. That platform conversation, like where to push your books and where to focus your attention, is definitely not over. And then I moved 17 units through Dr. Digital, which is everything except Amazon, and everything except Amazon or what comes off of my website or Google Books. And then I moved 9 units on Google, and most of those were free. So it was either Leslie's Curl and Dye or Calculated Risk. I really had my best month in years, which tells me that leaving the house works. Yeah, yeah. I got to leave the house more. And I'm doing that. I'm doing that this year. I'm leaving the house more. Got to do it next year too. So every opportunity that I see, I look for an opportunity to vend, because it's nothing for me to order up some books and set up a table and throw out, my little square dealie and sling some books. So looking into that, I'd like to do more local one-day events because I don't have to pay for a hotel. All I have to pay for is the books. So definitely looking into that. So let's see. I am looking at my numbers here. Standard of Care and A Thin Line show up as top earners. Print books are really moving in a way that surprised me. Readers are very into physical books right now, which is interesting as a person that doesn't leave their house. And I read mostly ebook and audio. Readers are really, really into print. Like I'm thinking of a person that had 400 pre-orders at Black Romance Book Fest. Like at one point, I will talk about this. I will talk about the whole experience. But at one point, I had come down to my room and I was at the elevator, and the people walking past to go into the ballroom to go where the authors are selling and signing books, it was like a low rumble. All of the carts that people had just vroom, vroom, vroom right past me. I almost got run over. Those people were going in there to buy some books, and the carts were just overflowing. Those big Hulkin bags, which someone said is just a big silver trash bag on wheels, but they were whipping those bags around, those carts around. Someone had a big suitcase. They were there to buy books, and we love y'all. We love y'all big. We love y'all hard. Thank you for showing up and spending all of your money with us. Anyway, Wine with Writers is coming up. It is in Baltimore at the end of June. I believe this event is sold out. It's going to be at the Zora's Den retreat. I'm really looking forward to this because it looks like cozy and very intimate. I'm very excited to see the legend that is Beverly Jenkins. I did reopen my pre-orders for Wine with Writers. They close June 8th. I am pressing send on my book order on June 9th as soon as I wake up. So if you are attending Wine with Writers and you would like to order some books, go to booksbydlwhite.com/link in bio, tap on that link, get in your order. If you want to pick up a book that I will not have at my table, namely like Dinner at Sam's, Drinks at Mink's, any of the Potter Lake series, I will not have those with me. I will not have those with me to sell. So if you would like to buy them and pick them up at Wine with Writers, that is the form that you need to use because I will not have them at my table. Also, I opened a super secret direct order form. If you missed Black Romance Book Fest and Wine with Writers, won't be there to pick up any books, but want to hop on a sale to get books at in-person pricing because my books retail are much more expensive, like $7 more expensive on retail. You want to hop on that sale and get them at cost plus shipping. go to booksbydlwhite.com/link in bio and hop on that super secret link. Order up your books. Again, I am pressing send on my book order on Tuesday, June 9th. So June 8th is the very last day to enter your order for books. That's my little PSA. Again, these are in-person pricing, not retail, and it's that plus like $5 in shipping, because it generally costs me like $6 something to ship. So I'm even taking a little subsidy for shipping. Okay, so super quick, let's talk about Black Romance Book Fest Year Two. Bigger, better, more awesomer. Absolutely incredible. I had a blast. I kept telling people I was at Disneyland. It was really incredible. I am glad that I took all of the days off that I took. I took like half of Thursday, part of Thursday. I think I left at like 4:00 on Thursday, and I did not go back to work until Tuesday. Needed all of that time. Thursday night, I went out to Decatur First Baptist Church. A little meet and greet with Kennedy Ryan and Jacquel J. And then they did an author talk. I got books signed. I got pictures with both. It was an amazing, amazing time. I always like being in the room with other writers. Had a little chit chat with other authors in the meet and greet line, and then sat with some authors at the event. Packed that place out. I don't know how many seats that church holds, but we, from the balcony to the floor, packed it out. Had a really, really, really wonderful time. It was a great talk. I got home before the sun was even setting. Then I had to go home and clean my house and pack for BRBF the next day. I did a little work Friday morning, and I packed up all my stuff, did a little Instacart order for snacks for me and Karen the reader, who was my assistant 2nd year in a row, for us to have in the room, just so we weren't spending a lot of money in the gift shop and whatnot. So I headed down to the hotel around 1:00, checked in, like got my author bag and my badge, checked in my assistant, went to my room to chill for a little bit, and then I took a shower and changed, because at 4:00 I had like a sneaky link, a little meet and greet with it was like cocktails and whatever, sponsored by Universal. And Kennedy Ryan had her friends there from her the production team that's doing Before I Let Go, there to just basically meet authors and, chit chat with people who bring books to TV and movies. I talked with an agent and a guy that works on the film side of publishing, and just kind of talking with other authors. It was just a really small group, like maybe 40, 45 people in there. I don't know what will come of that, but we did fill out a form for what books we thought we had that would be good on screen. And I put down Brunch at Ruby's and the Never List. And so they have this form with all of the books that we suggested that they take a look at. And who knows? This was definitely a weekend of opportunity for people to like kind of branch out and talk to people who are bigger than we are, talk to different people than we've been talking to before about opportunities to champion our books past the written page and past ebook, audio, special edition, that whole treadmill. One thing that I really appreciate about Kennedy, and this is something that I told her on Friday night, she kind of made the rounds, and she's like, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? What are you working on?" etc. I just really appreciate how she just busted that door open and broke that ceiling, and she is dragging everybody that she can along with her. She has a producer's deal, so when she sees something good, she can bring it to her team and say, "Hey, I need you to think about bringing this to life." I think Christina Forrest has a deal. J.L. Seegers has something in the works. Of course, Tia Williams has 2 productions. We know she did The Perfect Fine. I think A Love Song for Ricky Wilde and 7 Days in June both have production deals now. So I am loving seeing Black books come to film. And speaking of the legend, Miss Beverly Jenkins, Hulu has finally picked up the option for the Blessings series. And so that is absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad to see her finally getting her flowers and seeing her books come to the screen. She did do a movie quite some time ago, but like people need to be paying more attention to Beverly Jenkins. And I think we have finally screamed loud enough that people are noticing her work. And I just would like to see so much more. When people talk about like Bridgerton and that whole series, I never failed to think about Vanessa Riley. We have a whole Black Regency series that would be so much fun on screen. So I've been saying I have a one-sided beef with Shonda Rhimes because she continually puts money in pockets that already sees money and not looking at material that's already out here. Michael B. Jordan's production company is optioning Fourth Wing instead of all of the fantasy series that we have out here written by Black authors that could definitely use exposure and could be brought to screen. So, don't get me started. Do not get me started. So anyhow, so where was I? I am so off script. I don't know where I am on my rundown. Anyway, Weymouth Writers, blah, blah, blah. Black Romance Book Fest is what I was talking about. So day one, I had a panel at 10 o'clock, led by Ashley Reed's book. She also owns the Read Her Black Romance Book Box. Fantastic panel. It was on the miscommunication trope. A lot of audience involvement, a lot of question and answer, a lot really, really great, insightful questions that weren't directly related to the books that we sent to her, but like tangentially related. Like, here's the theme of that book. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Really, really great. She did a wonderful job. I really enjoyed it. Then we had lunch, and then I had to set up for my signing at 2. So we went to go grab my books, load them up in the car, roll them down to the ballroom so we could set up, because I could set up at 12:15, but my signing was at 2 to 4:50. Let me tell you, there were more than 3,000 people at the Omni in Atlanta. It was a lot of people, like, stuck in the hallways. You know how, like, when you're in high school and the bell rings and everybody comes shooting out of every classroom and the hallways are full and it's just noise and people and lockers slamming and announcements overhead and, like, people talking and laughing and cackling and let me through and blah, blah, blah. That's what it was like. It was a lot of people, y'all. It was a lot of people, and we were stuck for a good 10 minutes in the hallway just trying to get to the ballroom, which wasn't that far away. And someone had a bullhorn, and they were like, beep, 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 let these people through. Authors need to get through. Beep, 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 beep. Authors need to get through. And people are standing there like, what? What's going on? Do we have to move? I'm in line. No, you're not in line. Move. Beep, beep. Move out of the way. It was hectic. It does remind me of when I worked in radio and we would do promotions, and Mike Ellis, who was the king of radio promotions, would say it hasn't even started if the police don't show up. So when security rolls through to try to, like, move the line so authors can get through to set up and, like, kind of get people situated and cut the line off so we can clear the area. It was a lot. It was chaos, but, like, also, at least it wasn't empty. At least we had a lot of people there that were excited to get in that room, excited to get their books, excited to look at the bookish wares and go to the bookstores and buy the books. It was a lot. Crowds don't bother me. Just not being able to get through so I could go to set up my table was like, okay, y'all, like, it's paper. Move. Just move. So I had a blast, I'll tell you. So signing number 1, I was signed from 2 to 4:50 both days. again, in that room was a lot. I don't know how many authors there were in that room, maybe 50 or so between authors and then also vendors. We had some big authors, some smaller authors kind of interspaced throughout. Some authors just have really long lines, and there are people just kind of queued up to come pick up their pre-orders or get their books signed, and their lines were just like down the hall and out the door, and it it jams people up because they can't get through. So for probably a good hour, there was a traffic jam in front of my table. And so there were people trying to pick up their pre-orders and people looking at books and trying to buy books and get them signed. It was chaos. It was a lot, and it was hot in there. A lot of people were like, I'm not doing this. I will be back. So they came back after 3:30 when it had calmed down a little bit and the lines weren't as thick. Definitely needed to really think about the choreography of those signing rooms. And I was a little worried about day 2 because my table was going to be right across from Kennedy Ryan's line, and her lines get wild. And I just thought I'm going to get married. I'm going to get swallowed up. Thankfully, on day 2, they really listened to the feedback that they were getting, and they moved Kennedy and Jacquel and I believe Tia to their own rooms so that those lines could be managed. Because on day 1, Jacquel J had a pre-order pickup line that was long, like hours long, just to pick up pre-orders, just to pick up, not even to get them signed, to pick up pre-orders. So can you imagine all those people being in line in front of you, and then you're spending the entire time that an author is signing in that line trying to pick up a book or trying to get it signed, so you can't see anybody else and you can't shop for any other books and you can't go to any panels. So there's some choreography, I think, that has to be perfected. But like I said, silver lining is them readers were lined up and they were ready to buy them books. So, signed from 2 to 450. I sold out of a few. I sold out of A Thin Line, Drinks at Minx. I almost sold out of Brunch at Ruby's on day 1. I sold out on day 2. I sold out of a few books. I don't remember which ones I sold out of, but I had like a few copies of Potter Lake books, and so I brought those out to kind of supplement on day 2 because I knew I was going to sell out of a few books. So I think like Calculated Risk, I came home with 1 copy of that, and then I ended up selling it before I even got home. I came home with 1 copy of Missing Persons. I sold out of Dinner at Sam's, Brunch at Ruby's, paperback, Drinks at Minx. I left with 4 like 2-handled bags of books, and I came home with 1. And a lot of those were hardcover copies of Brunch at Ruby's. And I will have those with me at Wine with Writers because I would like to get rid of them. So, day 2 was really, really great. I decided to pace myself, and I am not a hip young thing. I am not tragically hip, so I did not go to any of the evening shows. I did not go to the Kickback. I did not go to Bookchella. I did hear that people had a really, really great time at all of them. There were lots of rooms where you could go in, like the reading room, the Lego room, the coloring room. There was like a sort of like a relaxation, quiet room where if you were just overwhelmed, you could go in one of those rooms. And those are such a nice option to have. I'm really glad they have those, and I hope that they continue having those because really wonderful options. I did peek into the reading room and I saw that they just had like rounds and like chairs around them. And being picky, I would love for that room to have some soft seating, couches, chairs, bean bags, etc., just so people could really like relax in that room. But of course, money. Am I paying for that? No. So anyway, I am thinking about being a sponsor for next year, like at the baby level, because I want to put some money behind Black Romance Book Fest. So day 2 started with a lovely cheeky little session with recorded books. I did sign up to pitch some books for audio, and I think it went really well. I met with one of their acquisition editors, and I think it went really well. The series that I pitched for them was the Black Diamond series because it already has 1 book in audio. and I would really like to see that book be completed, or I would really like to see that series get completed in audio. Could also do Potter Lake. That series has 2 full-length books have audio already, and the other 2 are holiday shorts, and so I don't think those are profitable for audio. I said they were available if they wanted them, but I primarily focused on the Black Diamond series. I think that looking at my numbers, the books that have audio obviously sell better, and not just in audio, but in ebook as well, because people do a lot of that immersive reading where they're reading the book and listening to it. I think that looking at my sales, I do have listeners that will follow me to another format. They will follow me to audio, and they will also bring my books to a new audience, because there are a lot of people that will only listen to audio. Like, Miss Roni has visual impairment, so she only listens to audio because looking at a book is difficult for her and her eyes. And I know, like Kennedy Ryan has said, if it's not in audio, it's not getting read right away, because audio allows me to do other things while I am taking in some work. And so taking that lead, trying to get more of my books in audio without having to voice them is a goal. So I met with them. It was just like a 15-minute conversation, but it was a really good one. I told them I had a temper tantrum and I pulled my books from Audible. A lot of authors are doing that because ACX has this new, what I feel is kind of predatory royalty model, and they're forcing everybody into it by the end of the year. And a lot of authors just don't want to be in that, and so they're planning to pull their books and go through another avenue. And I said I would not mind my books being back on ACX, but not through the indie route, because I think they're kind of basically screwing us over. And so basically, those audiobook companies have a whole different deal with Audible, where the royalty structure is different, and so it wouldn't be that same royalty structure. So that was encouraging. Also, I said I do have some books that are already recorded. I have 5 books that are already recorded in audio by a professional narrator, because they used to be on ACX, and I would not mind them being re-recorded, mostly because my narrator that did my original books, the quality is probably degraded by now. That person has also taken a swift turn far right, if you know what I'm saying. And I kind of just would like a fresh start with those books. I also would love if they were duet or dual narrated. I would love for my heroes to have a voice, and for it to not be, unless it's Wesley Shaban who can do a good male voice. I don't want a female going deep and trying to do a male voice like this. I feel like my books deserve a true male voice. So she asked if I would send over the books I have, the books that are already recorded that I would love to have re-recorded, the books that are ready for, like, my standalones, my longer standalones, A Thin Line, the Never List. My other standalones I've done on my own. Also would not mind having them re-recorded if they thought they could sell them. Send her a list of what I have, what I'm seeing for possibilities for audio. So I sent her through a good spreadsheet of everything I have, all the series that I have, 3 series, Rubies, Black Diamond, Potter Lake, and then the holiday novellas, which I could do as an omnibus maybe, but are probably too short to spend money putting in audio. They're 8-10 chapters at most. And then of course all my standalones, and sort of kind of what I see as how would it look if they were to be in audio. And so I did up my little spreadsheet with a little blurb about each one. So fingers crossed I hear from them. I would love to get, into some audio, and that would also put me, I don't think that would make me a hybrid author, but I could sneak and say I have some trad audio, I don't know. So I had that on day 2, and then I went and bought a lot of books. Met a lot of authors, hugged a lot of necks, said hi to my author friends, shopped in the bookstore. I met Chensia Higgins for the first time, had never met her in person. Saw Nia Forster, who I haven't seen since our last Wine with Writers, like maybe 5 or more years ago. 2019, I think, is the last time I saw Nia Forster. We did Wine with Writers that year. I just really like just being able to see my author friends in person. So I just had a ball just going from table to table, buying books. I met Nina High for the first time. I had a blast. And then I went and had lunch and chilled in my room for a little bit. And then I had my second signing on day 2 from 2 to 4:30. So both years on day 2, I have had the afternoon signing slot, and I asked in my request for year 3 if I could be in the AM signing slot on day 2, because I feel like by 2 o'clock, people are tired and they are spent, and a lot of people have left because a lot of people leave on Sunday afternoon. And I feel like I never get as many sales on day 2 as I get on day 1 if I am in the afternoon. I would like to try the morning slot. So, and I feel like they put me in the PM slot maybe because I had that recorded books slot in the morning. I don't know. I could have worked around it. You know what I'm saying? I could have worked around it. Anyway, I had good sales in the afternoon on day 2, but probably only a third of what I made on day 1. Like day 1 was a banger. So last year at Black Romance Book Fest, I made probably the most I have ever made in a day at a book event. And this year at Black Romance Book Fest, I made the most I have ever made at a book event. And so year 3, let's just blow the doors off the thing. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, had a total blast, packed up my table a little bit after 5 o'clock, and then the fest was over. And so we were just chilling. Everybody else was going to Litnick, which kind of closed out, but I paced myself. I didn't do any of the evening events. Did meet my good girlfriend, Danielle Allen, for dinner. She and I and a couple of other authors had dinner at the hotel. I met Shaughnessy Schroeder, who is she does Black Booktube. She has a YouTube channel. She's a book influencer, and I've been trying to find her all weekend long, literally all weekend. I finally met her like Sunday evening after the fest was over, met her at dinner. Sweetest gal, just a really sweet person. Really, I met her, and then I'm glad I extended my stay into Monday because I didn't have to like check out and wrangle my stuff and like dash to the airport. Last year, I had to drop Karen off at the airport Sunday night. This year, we stayed over Sunday night so we could just chill. And then, Monday morning, woke up, just kind of eased into the day, packed up our stuff, checked out around 10, brought her to my house. Of course, I had to show off the new house and had a good chat, ran a couple errands, made sure she got some lunch, and then I dropped her off at the airport. And then I came back and I pretended I was going to unpack and didn't. I took a shower and got in the bed because a girl was tired because I had to go back to work on Tuesday. So in all, it was an amazing weekend. It was a lot of people. We are at an even bigger hotel. We're at the biggest hotel in Atlanta next year, and they are saying they're not raising the head count. So we're looking at 3,300, 3,500 people in an even bigger space next year. Bring it. I did apply. Applications close tomorrow. So I did apply to sell books again and be a featured author. So, fingers crossed on that I get in again. I had a blast. I really had a ball. It was literally Disneyland, and I hope I have as good a time at Wine with Writers. It's going to be much more chill, but I'm just really looking forward to seeing Miss Bev, Danielle Allen, Nia Forster, Jacinta Howard, Joan Vassar, and kind of just hanging out with authors, talking about books and the readers that love them. It's going to be, a much more intimate gathering, and I'm really looking forward to chilling with my book people. So I have been yapping for a long time, but I knew that I would. I didn't talk about my summer plans. My summer plans are to do nothing. I'm just going to read. I need to dig into reading the mystery classics. I don't know where to start. Where do I start? Like, do I have to read Agatha Christie? Do I have to read Sherlock Holmes? Like, do I have to? So I'm going to really try to really think hard about the books I'm going to start writing this fall, not rush myself, kind of, pace those things out, not try to push them out any faster than I have to push them out, but also have fun with it. If I come up with a cute, fun idea that I want to just write real quick and publish real quick, I'm just going to do that. I don't even send them through editing because editing is expensive and it takes so long to get them through editing when it's done the right way. For a short, if it's 8,000 words, I'm going to do my best and put it out. So summer plans, I'm just going to chill and read and travel and do book events. I do have one that's going to be announced next week, so we can talk about it next week on the podcast. And then I'm trying to get on something for the fall. Might be Snellville Book Festival. I want to do something in Atlanta that's a one-day thing where I don't have to book a hotel room. That would be nice. So I think I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna drink my protein shake. I have conditioner in my hair because I need to wash my hair today. I need to get my garbage out. I'm just gonna enjoy my Sunday afternoon, watch a movie. I made some pasta salad yesterday, although I'm really craving tacos. Lord knows I'm going to actually have for dinner because do I tell myself no? Not often. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my day, and I hope that you do as well. Thank you so much for spending all this time with me. I hope it was entertaining and or educational. Book friends, thank you so much for showing up and for being here and for listening and subscribing and reviewing and talking about my podcast. I love for my name to be spoken in rooms I am not in. Keep doing that. I love it. If you enjoy this episode, please share it, rate it, leave a comment wherever you are listening. Apple, Spotify, Substack, YouTube. Full show notes, transcript, and links will be at booksbydlwhite.com/bookcast and on my Substack at authordlwhite.substack.com. You can, once again, support this podcast by buying my books at booksbydlwhite.com/shop. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/booksbydlwhite. You can share this podcast or join my newsletter. Find all those links at booksbydlwhite.com/link in bio. And if I talked about any sales or anything coming up, book orders, anything like that, I'm going to try to always put them on my link in bio page. So bookmark that, check it often. I don't often blog. I don't often do a lot of things. Sometimes things don't make it to my newsletter or my Substack, but I do try to put that on my link in bio page. So if I forget, there's a link there. If you have any questions, always shoot me an email. It's authordl@booksbydlwhite.com. Such big thanks to my monthly supporters, even when I skip weeks, months. Thank you so much, everyone who has sent a coffee. You keep this mic turned on, and I truly, truly appreciate you. The Bookcast is written, produced, and edited by me, DL White. Theme music and sound effects are provided by Pixabay. I plan to be back next week. We'll see. You know what? We'll see. But until then, be well, read something good. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.